Panther Nation podcast. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Oh, cut it. Cut right. And I would like to introduce one of the hottest podcasts in Carolina history. Let's go. Yeah. Talk less chat. We got time to chop it up. Talking analytics and fantasy draft. You know what's up. Panther Nation representing. Cause this is where we talk that. Talk that's so incredible. Make them rewind that talk back. Pause. Talking Panthers football, we discussing it all. On and off the field, you know exactly who to call. You know we the #1 podcast. Competition is non-existent, you need to stop that. Pause. It's an honor to be a Panther fan, pause. At Bank of America, that is where we ball. Coming to the jungle, then you gonna feel the pause. Winning the trophy for the city, it is the call. Black, white, and blue, we going Carolina strong. And this is the conversation where everyone belongs. Discussing all the numbers and topics, you know we got it. We the hottest podcast and we poppin', let's go.
QueenCityPodcastNetwork.com.
Yo, what's cracking? What's cracking with your boy? It's Rashad. I don't know where Dave is, I'm going to be honest with y'all. But we here. It's PNP in the building. It's Tuesday. Y'all know what time it is. What's good with y'all, man? How y'all feeling? How's everybody feeling out there? How's everybody feeling out there? I had a fantastic, busy, super busy weekend. I was down in South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina for the weekend. Friday, I was down there. Saturday, I was down there. You know what I mean? It was good stuff. I had a blast. Southeastern Regional Conference for my guys. Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated was good, everybody. Shout out to my guy, Alex Rucker, who is a collegiate at High Point University, who I advised, by the way, won Southeastern Region Brother of the Year, Collegiate Brother of the Year. Shout out to him. Shout out to him, bro. I don't know where Dave is. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I have no clue. And he not answering text. I might have to send out an APB in a minute because that dude always answers his text. I have no idea where he's at. But what's good? What's good? We here. Had a great weekend. And then not only did I have to go to Columbia, South Carolina, I then had to go up to Raleigh Saturday night. I went to Raleigh. Shout out to my daughters, had a dance competition in Raleigh, so I missed the first day with the conference, and then went to the second, made it to the second day. So shout out to all the young ladies at that dance studio. I'm not gonna name the dance studio because some of y'all is creeps out there. I don't know who listens to the pod. Y'all is creeps out there, so I'm not gonna name the studio, but shout out to the studio. And yeah, good times. Dance dad duties was on deck. Dance dad duties on deck. Let me shoot my guy Carlo a message and see if you want to join the show since Dave ain't here. Give me 1 second, Carlo. Let me see if you want to jump on. I don't know where Dave is. But yeah, a lot to talk about. Dave here or not, it's a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about with the NFL rule changes. My man Canellis and Dan Morgan spoke. It was a lot going on. A couple transactions that we missed, or one transaction that we missed that we got to talk about. Then potentially, you know what I mean, Stefan Gilmore trying to come back, a little reunion maybe. I don't know. We'll see, but I'll give my thoughts on it. But let's go ahead and get into the content. Real quick. Shout out to A-Cash. Hold on, let me get the super chat real quick. Shout out to A-Cash. I just need to get this out the way. I'm annoyed that none of these mock drafts by analysts mock us taking an edge in the second round. Do people not realize that this is a major need for us now? More than O-line at this point. I mean, valid. It's a valid concern. You know, people don't really know what's going on with the Carolina Panthers. We are not a media darling. We are not a media darling by any means. So, people don't really know what's going on with your boys. They don't really know what's going on. So they just kind of, they just go with what's out there publicly. They don't really know what's going on with the Carolina Panthers. That's just the nature of the beast. That's why we always say on this channel, you gotta mute the mainstream, mute the MFing mainstream. You know what I mean? Been saying that. Been saying that. All right. So just send my man Carlo the link. He gonna join. Say he's willing to join. I don't, yo, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. He might be. Getting ready to watch the Gamecocks. He might be getting ready to watch the Cox. No Diddy. You know what I mean? He might be. I don't know. I don't know where he at. I don't know where he at. But anyway, let's get into this. Let's get into this content real quick. Let's get ready to share my screen again. Y'all know what time it is. Stay on the prowl. Stay on the prowl. Y'all know what time it is, or stay off the prowl for certain people. Y'all know how that go. Y'all know how that go, man. You never know. You never know nowadays, man. Be careful out in these streets. Be careful out in these streets. It's nasty out here. And before I get started, I gotta say, prayers out. Go out to the good folks in Baltimore. Yeah, I mean, the prayers to them. That was crazy. I woke up this morning, saw that the whole bridge collapsed. That is wild. That's like one of my worst nightmares. Is I have a phobia about driving over bridges as it is. Just a slight one. It's not crazy. But seeing that, the ship hit the daggone, that's crazy, bro. So prayers, and the major highway too, 695. I used to live up in DC, so I know I've spent some time. I spent some time in Baltimore, so that's a major highway that's now gone. So it's kind of crazy. So shout out to those in Baltimore and anybody affected by that tragedy. That's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, that's one of my worst fears is a bridge. That's crazy, man. That's wild. I got little fear just talking about it. You know what I mean? So again, prayers to all those involved. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about these new rules, right? We got some new rules in effect. And one of the rules put in place is this hip drop tackle, right? The hip drop tackle is now banned. All right. So a lot of the defensive players are upset. And they saying, man, you might as well just ban tackling. Just go ahead and ban tackling at this point. Just go ahead and make it two-hand touch because we can't even tackle a guy anymore. So they're banning. Oh, there's Dave. There's Dave. What's
Sorry,
good?
guys. Man, let me tell
What's
you
good,
something.
Dave? You all right? Y'all was about to send out the bird call.
Nah, I'm good, man. I've been having technological difficulties.
I'm about to send out the bird call, bro.
Nah, I'm here.
All right. All right. Shout out to Dave. Dave in the building. You joined just in time. Before we get into it, go ahead and hit the how was your weekend and all that good stuff, and explain some of your technical difficulties that you're having. How can we help?
Well, listen, I don't need your help at this point. I've already resolved the problem that you speak of. Yeah, I'm trying to change my setup a bit because I'm traveling this weekend. We got to do the live draft, so I want to bring a different laptop with me. So I'm just trying my best to make it work, and I got my solution. It's going to be very fun. I'll say that. So I'm good to go now. We're rocking now.
How was the weekend though?
Weekend was cool, man. I had it was pretty chill. Watched a lot of sports. Watched a lot of basketball this weekend. Just a regular weekend this weekend. I didn't do nothing crazy this weekend, but watch sports. Watch the tournament.
All right. So you joined just in time. As we're gonna discuss this hip drop tackle ban. Just clicked onto it, so you didn't miss anything. But before we give your reaction, let me just read it out. Let me read the actual rule. Article 18, hip drop tackle. It is a foul if a player uses the following technique to bring a runner to the ground. A, grabs the runner with both hands or wraps the runner with both arms, and B, unweights himself by swiveling and dropping his hips and or lower body, landing on and tripping the runner's legs at or below the knee. That is a penalty, Dave. And the penalty for that for a hip drop tackle, Dave, is a loss of 15 yards and an automatic, you know it, first down. Dave,
what was that? What was that?
what
Was
say
that the
you?
roar?
That was the roar,
Listen,
Dave.
oh, Jesus Christ, you and these damn roars. First of all, are we just going to put the flags on them now or later?
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
I'm just trying to understand. Like, are we ready to go ahead and put the flags on now or later? Because I think we're at the point where we're ready to put the flags on them. We're there, bro. We're there.
Yeah,
we're
just make it 2-hand touch, throw the flags. It's crazy, and you know what's wild is that the clip of my man Mitchell that used to be a safety here keeps circulating now, and he's talking about the frustration of, I think, Quentin Mitchell. My bad, Quentin Mitchell. I can't remember his name, but anyway, that clip keeps floating around now, and he was talking about. Or Mike Mitchell. I bet whatever his name is. My bad.
Mike Mitchell, yes.
Mike Mitchell. My bad. Mike Mitchell.
Damn, man.
But the clip keeps floating around. My bad. I did F his name up. My bad. But the clip keeps floating around. That now, he was expressing his frustration with some of the stuff and some of the flags that are being thrown. And this, I get it that they're trying to make the league safer, quote unquote. But you're adding more football games to the league, and there's a lot of other things that you're doing to, kind of counteract said point. But with this, it's just making this too offense friendly, bro. Like, the guys can't even tackle. So guys like Derrick Henry, how do you tackle a guy like Derrick Henry, right? These big dudes that you can't bring down. How are you supposed to bring those dudes down?
The thing is,
how are you
like,
supposed to tackle them dudes?
Only way you can tackle folks now is that you got to hit them in the chest or the gut, and that's it. You can't do nothing else. You can't even grab them at this point. Like, it's ridiculous now. I just feel like last year we were talking about, Tepper having all this focus on soccer and everything with regards to that. But the reality is that, and I made a comment saying that soccer is probably going to take over, be the most popular sport in a decade. Part of it is because of things like this. They're going to oversafe the league to the point that we're going to have just a flag football game, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's going to look like the Pro Bowl. It's going to look like the Pro Bowl game they do now. Y'all watch that? Some of y'all did, because it has some pretty good ratings. But did y'all watch that? You know what I'm saying?
No.
Either that's going to happen, or we're going to have an NFL team to finally drop 100 points in a game.
Yeah, and that's Dave, and that's the point. I like when they keep throwing out rules like this. That's what my brain went, right? It immediately goes to, now it's going to be 1,000 points scored per game because every hit is going to be flagged, and it's going to. And I saw somebody talking about it, saying that, hey, you probably won't see too many flags for it, but you'll see fines for it because they don't. It's very difficult to assess a hip drop tackle. It's like most
tackles are hip drop tackles.
Yeah, like
when they showed when they showed the video, I watched that video. I'm like, those are tackles. How do you ban tackles?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think it's a mess, but like you said, 100 points per game. This is what they want. They want an entertaining, high scoring, and I liken it to the NBA. NBA is the same. Like the NBA, I don't watch the NBA because of it. Like, you scoring almost 200 points per game. Like, it's just a mess. Like, it's up and down. There's no defense. It's not. I want to see defense. I may be in the minority, but I like a good defensive team.
You are.
Like, I like defense. I want to see some defense. You know what I mean? Like, I like a good defensive battle. I don't want to see 72 points per score per. I like a good high-powered offense.
I just remember when KD, when they told him that when Luka dropped 70 points, my man was like, 70? 70?
Bro, anybody playing defense?
Because they can't. That's the problem. They can't. And that's where we're going to be in the league at this point. Nobody going to be able to play defense. Now I have to eat my words about getting an offensive guy because they're pretty much offensive coach because they're pretty much get all the calls. They need to have some defensive-minded folks in the rules committee. That's the problem. Even though Tomlin was in the committee and they voted unanimously to change this rule. So
yeah,
it's
shout
kind of wild.
out to Helen Keller's dog. It feels like this is another way for the referees to insert themselves into the games. And with sports gambling becoming more prevalent in the U.S., it seems completely intentional. That's one way to look at it.
That's one way to look at it. But one thing I'll say is that if that's the case, then you should be able to win all the money you want because you know to stay away from certain things. Like, I mean, you keep it like if you want to keep it a buck, I mean, that means you should be able to beat the house, which you won't be able to beat the house. The house always wins.
ACAS says a 5'10", 180-pound dude, or how is a 5'10", 180-pound dude supposed to tackle a 6'5", 250-pound guy? You can't hit him high, you can't hit him low, can't grab him by the waist and pull. The hell, defender's supposed to do harsh language telekinesis. I mean, yeah, I mean it is what it is, man. ACAS is right. You can't you're doing more thinking than you are hitting at this point. Like, and now you're gonna second guess yourself. That's gonna allow the offensive guy to get away from you because you're trying to assess how the hell I'm supposed to tackle a guy. So it's a mess. I mean, even the offensive guys are feeling bad for the defensive guys at this point. And it's a sad day when you got offensive guys like Jonathan Stewart, a couple of Torrey Smith, a couple other guys. I've seen them tweet about this, and it's just a mess. It's a mess, and I'm all for player safety, but come on, man, like it's football at the end of the day. You sign up to play football, and that's why I don't play. Right? I choose not to play. I eliminated myself after that middle school hit I took because I was like, I ain't trying to do this. You know what I mean?
You put yourself in the transfer portal, man.
Exactly. I transferred right up out of playing football. But you know what I mean? So Todd Black says, what's up, Blue? Shout out to the mob. He says, you see, they looking to bring back Gilmore. Yeah,
we're gonna get to that.
We're gonna talk about that in a little bit.
We're gonna talk about
that a little bit later. Hold that thought, Ty. Appreciate you though. The cat says Derrick Henry's going to have a field day. Carolina Panthers draft a big running back. LOL. Absolutely. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, my man said Derrick Henry about to have 3,000 yards. Yeah, for sure. Because you can't tackle him.
Yeah, because you can't tackle him.
How you supposed to tackle this man? Like, you can't. Bro, that's the only way to tackle Derrick Henry is a hip drop. Like, you got to put your full weight and pull that man down. That's the only way to do it.
And this is what the league wants, right?
Yep.
This is what the league wants.
What it is. A-Cash, man, I appreciate the super chats. A-Cash, you coming in heavy. No Diddy,
thick, bro.
No Diddy. No Diddy. No Diddy.
Oh yeah, that is right. That's the new term now.
Yeah, no Diddy. They take things away to make the game safer. Okay, fair enough. But at least give the defenders a solution for what they can do. Maybe it's dangerous. Maybe it's a dangerous hit, but this is a dangerous game. Agreed. That my sentiments exactly.
I think we're getting to the point where it's going to be dangerous for defenders to play defense. Like because when you start thinking about all the gyrations, pause that they're going to have to do to do their job, it's going to make it very difficult for them to even play defense at this rate.
Yeah, man. So
I'm serious. Like, can you imagine? You got any running back. It ain't even got to be Derrick Henry. It could be Chuba. Chuba's coming at you. You've already lost. There's a 60% of the body you can't even touch. Because if you hit him in the head, it's a flag. If you go below the waist, it's a flag. So at this point, you really ain't got too many options of how to get get Chuba down.
Yeah.
Jonathan Stewart would have a field day if these are the rules too, by the way. Field day, I'll tell you. Field day. God, man.
Yep, but that's what it is. Unfortunately, the defenders have to figure out a way to work around this, or I don't know. It's going to be a mess. You're going to see a lot of second guessing out there, and it's going to allow offenses to just go haywire. Like it's 70-point games, 80-point games. Like that record's about to be through the roof. They already, it's going to be a mess, man.
All the records about to be broken. Either that, or a lot of folks are going to get fined. They're talking about they're not going to throw the flag.
A lot of fines are going to be happening. A lot of fines going to be happening. But all right, let's keep it moving because that was not the only rule change that was implemented. Also, the NFL kickoff rule has now changed. So you can see on this screenshot to Pat McAfee, they broke this down, and this is interesting because they are adopting a hybrid solution to what the XFL did. If you watch the XFL, you kind of seen this in action already. A few tweaks, but one interesting note. I don't know how y'all feel about this. One interesting thing is that the Saints special teams coach led the charge on. I guess he leads the special teams rule change committee or something like that. So this guy who was on the screen opposite of Pat McAfee helped put this rule together. So just throwing that out there. Whatever you think, you could do with it as you may. But here's the rule. All right. So kickers will start kicking off at the 35-yard line, as you can see with the kicker right here on the screen. You can see the kickers right here. The rest of the kickoff teams at the plus 40-yard line. So you can see the rest of the kickoff team is here. 40-yard line to the 35-yard line is the neutral zone. There are no headshots, no Diddy. Okay. Everybody has to be still until the ball hits something, either the ground or the return guy catches it. If a kickoff does not go into the landing zone is from the 20 to the goal line. If it does not go into the landing zone or goes out of bounds, the ball automatically goes to the 40-yard line. That's kind of wild. Yeah, that's crazy. So if you kick that ball out of bounds, 40-yard line.
Well, we knew that was a known rule, but the fact that if you don't get it between the 20 and the goal line is going to go to the 40 is wild.
You have to get it between the 20 and the goal line. That's a flag. Okay. If the kickoff lands in the landing zone and goes for a touchback, it goes to the 20-yard line. So that's the optimal solution, right? The optimal way to kick the football off is to get it into that landing zone and have it roll into the end zone. That's a touchback. Okay. If a kickoff is a touchback on the fly, it goes to the 35-yard line. Okay. No surprise onside kicks. So you have to let the other team know that you're going to do onside kick. There is no more surprise onside kicks. Especially if
it's funny because the Saints won a Super Bowl because of that.
Yeah, that was brought up during Pat McAfee. He said, and the guy admitted it. The coach admitted it. He said, "Yeah, we're kind of taking out one of the things that we've benefited from." You know what I mean? So, so you can't do it if you're in the fourth quarter. You can alert the officials that you are going to attempt an onside kick. No limitations on how many onside kicks you can try. Okay. So, yeah, this is it. This is cool. It's going to be interesting to watch.
It is funny because shout out to Shamash from Blue Death Valley. He asked the question: how does this going to impact folks that are getting drafted? Like somebody like Tamar Cook from A&T, who's one of the best returners in the league in the FCS last year. He's going to get a better opportunity here because now he's going to get more opportunities for kickoffs.
Yeah, more opportunities for kickoffs, and you can have two returners back. So you can see you can have up to two guys in the backfield to return kickoffs. The ideal way to kick off is to have it laying in that landing zone and then roll into the end zone. That's the best way. You can't just kick it out in the back of the end zone. You gotta be strategic now. You got to be strategic about how you do kickoffs. It's very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to watch. You got to be skilled. And I think a lot of special teams coaches are going to be challenged with this because it's new. It's going to be interesting to watch. It's going to be very interesting.
Well, you know who's been doing it forever, right? The UFL, the XFL.
Yeah.
This is how they do it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is another, and by the way, a lot of folks don't discuss it enough. This is another thing that the NFL took from the XFL.
Yep.
A lot of the camera angles that showed up, they came from the XFL, the first iteration.
Yep. XFL is definitely leading the charge when it comes to some of these new stuff. And I like it. I like this kickoff rule. With these guys in the neutral zone, the idea is to protect prevent the high impact. They're getting a head start running into each other and the high impact collision. So it's a player safety thing there for the kickoff. All right. So any other thoughts?
Nah, I'm cool with this because we get to see more kickoffs. I can't complain about that. Somebody put in the chat that 77% of kickoffs are touchbacks. So that should reduce it. That should
Yep,
reduce that
you're gonna
percentage.
see more kickoff returns and put some more of a spotlight on this kick return guys. So you're getting more of an opportunity. So that is dope. He says, the league wants to see high scoring games when they don't ban the tush push. Very good point. Very good point. Tush push not banned. I would deem that as a player safety issue. With all that pushing and tush pushing and all that.
Can we please stop talking like they care about safety for the players?
I'm just saying. If that's
I'm just trying to we gotta stop it. They out here trying to add an 18th game. Can we please, for the love of God, stop talking like they care about the safety of the players? Because they don't. Because they did care about the safety of the players, they would probably have more guaranteed contracts. That's guaranteed to stay. Another portion of this that we haven't discussed enough, like when you ban the hip drop tackle, that's telling you that they're trying to protect their investments because they're getting more guaranteed money.
Yeah.
So they got to protect their investment more.
It's a good
because
point.
more and more players are getting more guaranteed money. So they got to protect their investment.
That's a good point, Ashley. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, like that's what it boils down to. I mean, it's taking a very, very big risk, especially they're out here tossing flags all the dang on time. But
shout to Great Fox, man. Shout to Great Fox. I had that. That's funny.
What's wrong with y'all, man?
Prayers to everybody involved with Diddy and all that. That's crazy. Yo, Diddy's wild, bro. Wild dude. Anyway.
You saw the video of him trying to figure out what he was gonna do with himself while he was in Miami?
I saw that when he was in Miami. Yeah, he was pacing, bro. I saw that. It's wild, but
yeah, man.
Anyway,
you don't see Diddy like that. You don't think billionaires would be like that. That's when you know you in that state of affairs.
Hey, more money, more problems. He won't lie there, huh? But anyway, we'll keep moving. There is another rule that went into another thing that happened today with the NFL meetings. So there's also something that the trade deadline and the replay assist. There's a new thing with the replay assist as well, but I'll go over them both. So NFL owners agreed on Tuesday to remove the NFL trade deadline back 1 week to the Tuesday after week 9. Again, they didn't quite think this all the way through when they added the extra week when they add the extra week on the season. It means you also got to push back the trade deadline. They didn't do that simultaneously when they did that. But now
what are they going to do when they add the 18th game? They're going to move to week 10?
You got to. You got to move it. It's got to be halfway. It's got to be halfway through the season, bro.
You should have just added the 18th game then at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. You got to move it halfway through the season. But anyway, that's the trade deadline has been changed. So again, they're just kind of making up for what they didn't change the first time. Also, another interesting thing is the NFL will now allow replay officials to move into the area of penalty enforcement for the first time. Follow me, folks. All right, so they will not be allowed to initiate a formal review on intentional grounding, roughing the passer, or hits out of bounds, nor can they suggest a flag be thrown. But they will be authorized to suggest a real-time reversal of a penalty on specific objective aspects of a play when clear and obvious video evidence is present, according to the rule.
God.
Yeah. So previously, replay officials advised officials on calls such as catch, no catch, possession, down by contact, advice that on-field referees could accept or reject. Okay. Intentional grounding, for example, was a play, especially that caught the attention of officials that threw 62 flags for intentional grounding in 2023. That's the most in a season since 2000. Okay. But the replay assist expansion was also spurred by the instances, for example, when a defender was called for roughing the passer because of a hit to the head. When replay showed contact, it was clearly below it. All right. So things like that will now be able to, they can kind of interject and say, hey, you know what? Nah, bro, that was not a flag. Pick that up. Yeah, I mean, so there are some good things that will come from this. And so I do like the fact, because we all be at home, be like, yo, why can't New York tell them that was incorrect? So now that's going to be some things that they will be able to help out with. Okay.
You know what's funny? Bill Belichick recommended this years ago. Years ago,
Oh,
because like, yeah, no, this was long overdue, for sure. But nah, this is fine. I'm not mad at it. My biggest fear is that it's going to cause things to last much longer. Like it's going to cause the game to last longer than it already is. That's my biggest concern.
or it could make it go by quicker if New York says, "Hey, we saw this was not a thing. Hey, y'all, nah, pick that up, return it, and keep it going." Or you could be right. I think either way, I think there's an aspect to that could be correct.
Yeah, because I'm always like, listen, man. There's a reason why baseball put a pitch clock to make the games faster. So you just got to be careful of that. I'm always an advocate of getting it right, but at what cost, right? Getting it right is important. It's important. But if we're gonna be
it's all good till it's your team, bro. Like, hey, if it made the game last an additional 5 minutes to get this call right, then do what you got to do, bro. I don't care.
What if it lasts an hour? What if it's an hour?
Don't care.
What if you got like
So, Dave, let me ask: Did my team win? Hey, if we won, then cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't care. If we won, I'll take it. So, but you're right. I mean, there is going to be a give and take when it comes to that. All right. So that's it. Any other thoughts on the trade deadline or the rule change for the refs?
Nope, not at all. I'm not shocked by the trade deadline, I'm kind of happy about the rule about the ability to change the calls and stuff like that. And I like the new kickoff, man. Because the kickoff is like one of the greatest plays in football, and it was going away with everything else that was going on with that. So
it was, and I agree. Make returners great again. So
like somebody like a Devin Hester who just made the Hall of Fame, right? Like, now now some of this stuff might get broken now because there's going to be more kickoffs potentially. There might be another guy that's better than Devin Hester that's out in these streets and get more opportunities than he got. So,
yep. All right. So with that said, let's keep it moving. Patreon.com/Panther Nation PC. Join up, support the channel, man. We greatly appreciate that. Shout out to all the MVPs. Shout out to the franchise folk. And shout out to all the free agents that support this channel on a monthly basis. We greatly appreciate y'all. Go to patreon.com/Panther Nation PC. Once again, Dave, Underdog Fantasy, real quick.
Yeah, man, let's make this short and sweet, man. Go to underdogfantasy.com, use the promo code PNP. They also give you some phenomenal notifications about certain players that are out for your over-unders. You can potentially leverage that, particularly in the NBA right now, golf, NHL. They're doing all that right now. So, and Major League Baseball coming soon to a theater near you. So go to underdogfantasy.com and use the code PNP when you do.
Shout out to Underdog, man. All right, so Dave, Gilly Lock. Word on the street is that we picked him up the phone. We want that old thing back, Dave. The Panthers have reached out to free agent Stefan Gilmore about a possible return to Charlotte per league source. Gilmore, who went to the same high school as Jadeveon Clowny, made the Pro Bowl with Carolina in 2021, has continued to play well into his 30s. He is 33 right now, and he's still playing at a high level. This is according to Joe Person. Dave, what do you think about this, bruh?
I hate Matt Rule and Scott Fitterer with every ounce of my soul, yo.
Yeah.
I do. Dog, this is what's supposed to happen in the first place. We out here extending Dante Jackson, and now we're about to get back, and now we're about to do what we should have done in the first place, which was not resign Dante Jackson and resign Stefan Gilmore.
Yeah.
We're pretty much back to square one.
Yep.
That's what when I saw this on Twitter, I was losing my mind, bro.
Yeah, think I like it. I think we definitely need a corner opposite of JC, and in the case that JC may, knock on wood, get hurt again, I think we need another cornerback. And I think This is something I've been saying on this show for a while. We talk about the pass rush, right? But there's nothing that helps a weak pass rush better than a strong secondary. And if you bring Stefan Gilmore back in here and you have JC Horn and you got that secondary firing on all cylinders, it's going to do nothing but help the pass rush. You know what I mean? So I think it needs to be done. I think we need to get Stefan Gilmore back in Carolina. And I'm hopeful that he comes here and retires here as he should have done the first time. He should have retired here in Carolina. He's from Rock Hill. He's from down there in South Carolina. Let this man retire here. He wants to be here. It's obvious. I'm sure he'll pick up the phone and come, play his final years here in Carolina. I don't know what the deal will be like. Let's get it done. But if you can't get, a premier pass rusher, maybe you can get both of those guys. Maybe you could talk to Clowny and you could talk to Gilmore and say, hey, look, man, let's get this Carolina and but Dave, what you think about that, Dave?
I missed half of it because you went in and out, but I'm
I
tuning.
went
I
out.
love
I
this.
saw that. My bad.
Now I think I hope this happens. And then and as for Clowny, we know that Clowney's not gonna show up until it gets close to week 1. Like he ain't doing training camp. But I hope Gilmore signs, man. That'll be awesome if he comes back. I'll get over my anger real fast if he comes back. I still just feel like a lot of the moves that we've been making since Dan Morgan has taken over is like trying to fix a bunch of mistakes that were made. Like just a bunch of mistakes. Just righting some wrongs and fixing a bunch of freaking mistakes, man.
Yeah, I'm hopeful, man, because I think we definitely need a Stefan Gilmore, bro. We need another cornerback, another veteran cornerback. And again, Gilly's playing great. It's almost like he's getting better every year. Even in his 30s. I mean, he's 33 years old, still balling. And I think he would be a huge asset to this defense, especially with Evero. And again, Evero, his defenses operate well when they have great corners, right? So he definitely, or a great secondary in general. And what if he's able? And I know Justin Simmons is still out there. What if we get him too? I think there's enough to make this thing happen, bro. Like I think we can. This defense is still a work in progress. Yeah, I mean, so I think still got some concerns with the pass rush, but if you get Gilly and JC, I definitely start to breathe a little sigh of relief there. Yeah, I mean, so I think we're solid. All right.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you there.
Any more thoughts on Gilly Lock?
Nah, Miss Gilly Lock. Go ahead and just make it happen, partner. Just sign. Just get it done.
Yep.
Just go ahead and come on down.
All right, Dave, we got to talk about another signing that occurred this week or last week. Nick Scott is a safety from the Cincinnati Bengals, but has the connection with Israel Evero from the LA Rams. Okay, he has a Super Bowl ring with the Bengals. A Super Bowl ring with the Rams. And he has Super Bowl appearance with the Bengals, I believe. But yeah, man. So he's got a 1-year contract with the Carolina Panthers. I see him as a rotational safety, not the best PFF grades, but he's definitely a depth play here. Age 29, 5'11", 200 pounds. What you thinking about this, Dave?
Like you said, bro, it's just a depth signing. I don't think I want him starting play every play. I like the fact that he's worked with Evero, so he knows the system, which is good. So I'm not complaining there. But I don't want him starting. I don't think you do either.
Yeah, no, we got a couple starters. I think our starting safeties are pretty solid. So I'm not mad at that. But definitely a rotational guy. I'm not mad at
somebody said special teamer. I'm not mad at special teamer either. Like if he can tackle.
Yep. Yep, and nickel too. So shout out to Carlos, says special teams and possible nickel. I don't disagree with that as well. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Are they keeping Sam Franklin? Sam Franklin is, I believe, a restricted free agent, but I have not heard anything about Sam Franklin, to be honest with you. Which is that's a great question, Double O Kane. I think
that is a good question.
Let me see. I have not heard anything about Sam Franklin. Sam balled this year too. I mean, I don't know why he. It's very interesting. It's a great question. Great question. But I think he's a restricted free agent. So or a exclusive rights free agent. One of the two. One of the two. But yeah, man. So shout out to Nick Scott. We'll keep this thing moving. All right, Dave. We got to talk about Dan Morgan. Dan Morgan had a press conference during the owners' meetings, and he talked about a couple of things. But I want to focus on these four main topics. He talked about, this whole Brian Burns trade. He talked about J.C. Horn's 50-year option. Talked about Derrick Brown potential extension, and he talked about an update on Jadeveon Clowny. Dave, trading Brian Burns again. It said it was a tough decision, not something that he took lightly. But I think it was more about them. And again, we've talked about this at length already, but it was more about, building for the future. And again, you can't sign everybody. He says, this is a quote. He says, those things are always difficult conversations and decisions that you have made. You have to make from the seat I'm in. He says, we love Brian, the player he is, the person that he is, but sometimes you got to make tough decisions, and the salary cap, along with the draft capital that we got, we felt like it was, time to pull the trigger and make that move. We felt like the timing is right, and yeah, those are always tough decisions. We had to make it, and we feel okay about it. Dave, what you thinking, man? What you think about this?
I'm not mad at the decision to trade Brian Burns. I'm just mad about the timing of it all. I think Dan Morgan did what he had to do to get some compensation for him. So of course he's going to say it was a tough decision. We had to do what we had to do, but it was clear that they weren't going to pay him, so they had to trade him. So I wasn't mad at the trade. I'm cool with the trade of Brian Burns. I just should have traded him instead of DJ Moore, but that ain't his fault. That was a previous regime.
Yeah, man. So again, tough decision. Again, he was going to have to address it at some point. And it's just kind of the nature of the beast. We talked about it at length. We kind of prepared y'all for that, and the leading up to it. And it's just a tough decision. We saved $24 million in cap just by, not moving forward with the franchise tag. And we decided to trade him and get some draft capital back. We did end up getting a top 10 second round pick, or pick in the top 10 of the second round. And we'll see what needs to be done with that. And unfortunately, we just have a terrible history of drafting with picks that we traded, or that we've acquired from a trade. We have not executed well in the draft these past couple of seasons. So one can hope that we finally get it right. And with Dan Morgan at the helm, maybe he has been in the past zigging when Fitterer zagged. And I just don't. It's just tough. It's tough, man. It's tough. It's a tough decision. He said it, and it's not one that I'm sure he takes lightly. But when you're in that position he's in, you got to make some tough decisions, and that was one he had to make. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So next up was J.C. Horn. Okay. Now this is another one. The Panthers have not yet made a decision on J.C. Horn's 50-year options. Okay. The team says they love Horn, and the injuries have been kind of out of his control, but they have not yet made a decision on J.C. Horn's 50-year option. Okay, and we have until May 2nd to either exercise or decline the 50-year option. There's plenty of time. It's not like we have to do it tomorrow. Got a couple of months to do so, or about a month and a half. It says the option will cost the team approximately $12.4 million in 2025. So next season. To me, I think it's a no-brainer. You got to tag J.C. Horn. I don't care what the risk is. You tag him. Dave, you say otherwise? Talk about it.
I don't disagree that it's a possibility that you tag him, but like you said, we have until May 2nd. Wait and see what you get in the draft first, then make your decision.
What you get in the draft ain't gonna change nothing with JC though. What they got to do with JC?
Because let's say, what if they leave out the draft without drafting a single corner?
What they got? You still got JC under contract for this year. That ain't gonna change nothing.
No, but my point is, so why would you spend top 10 money for the 5th year when you've already made a decision that you're gonna, like, let's say you take a cornerback high. Why would you spend a 5th year option? I know you don't care, but why would you spend a 5th year option on a guy who you've seen that can't stay healthy? Like, he hasn't stayed healthy enough to warrant the 5th year option. Let's keep it a buck. Now
I agree with that. I agree with the injury concern. I agree with the injury concern.
So for me, it's more about you need to get an idea what he is, and if he ends up staying healthy that 4th year, and you want to keep him, tag him.
You can't at that point.
You can tag him after his 4th year. You can franchise tag him after his 4th year. Yes, you can. You can't get the 5th year option, but you can tag him.
Okay.
You can tag him. So if he shows up the 4th year and he stays healthy and he plays at the top 5 level that I think he is when healthy, tag him for the 5th year. He'll get a little bit more money out of it too.
Yeah, and that's the point. Like now you're when you do a franchise tag, you're paying more money than the 5th year option, right? So the 5th year option it saves you a little cash. So for me, so this for me, JC, we know what JC is. I don't need to see what he is. I know what JC is when he's healthy. Now, can he stay healthy? We don't know, right? But I guarantee you this.
I think
guarantee,
based
Dave,
on what we've seen so far.
I guarantee you this, Dave. Let me finish this. I guarantee you this. Hey, when it's money time, injuries go away, Dave. This will be book it. Bold prediction. JC will play a full season. He will play a full season on this contract year, Dave. He's gonna ball out. Out of
but
control.
It ain't a contract year. It ain't a contract year if he
gets it's a 5th year option year. Same thing, DB. You can still get extended. Same thing with DB. You got to pick that up, bro.
Based on what Dan Morgan has done so far, I don't see him just unilaterally give him the 5th year option. I'm gonna keep it about.
Yeah, I don't. He might not.
I don't think he is.
Dan seemed like he drawing a line in the sand. He ain't fooling with none of you.
I think if the draft passes by and they don't get a corner, then maybe he'll do it before May 2nd. But if they draft a corner, you can forget that. They gonna let that man roll with his contract year in his 4th year and call it a day. Because the thing is, like, you gotta remember, bro, the man's never played a full season. He ain't even played 12 games in a season. We don't know what we got.
He will this year.
Well, he's gonna. But the thing is, would he? But here's the thing: would he be as motivated if you give him the 5th year option? No.
Yeah, because the 5th year option is not to be permanent. It's so you can. All right, let's hold off. You got this money. But the idea is to get more. The idea is to get a long-term deal done. You don't want any. The idea is not to play on the 5th year option. You pick it up so you can secure him so that, hey, when he does ball out, you want to get him on a long-term deal.
So if let's say the 4th year, let's say we add the 5th year and we get
12 million.
Another. Okay, then we get another JC Horn year next season. So you just let him play on the 5th year option, making all that money. I don't think Dan wants to do something like that, bro. That's my point. I think Dan wants to see the man be healthy, and then he'll make a decision on franchise tagging him on the 5th year if need be. That's what I think he's going to do.
JC is going to ball the heck out this year. It's a contract year.
And that's the other thing. Some people are talking about Horn's career is over. It ain't over.
Y'all are bugging, bro. Y'all are really bugging.
It ain't over. But I don't think he's gonna give him the 5th year, bro. I really don't.
JC is
based on what he's done so far.
JC is him when he's healthy, bro. And I think that he's gonna play.
But you know what part he keeps saying is why he ain't getting the 5th year option.
I know. I get it's a risk. Life is about risks. You got to go on the fork of the road. When you hit that fork in the road, Dave, you're gonna be safe or you're gonna take a risk. You've taken some risks in your life, Dave, right?
I've taken a few.
Okay, so damn. Listen. so So I feel like this is a risk. This is a risk that Dan Morgan he knows it's a contract year, bro. JC Horn is not playing for a 5th-year option. He's playing for a long-term deal, which is going to secure because he know, hey, listen, hey, he know he's been hurt too. So why not get this guaranteed money on my long-term deal? So I'm gonna stay healthy. I'm gonna ball out. I'm gonna fight through any little tweaks that I got, any injuries. I'm gonna fight through it. I'm gonna get on the field and I'm gonna have a top 5 cornerback season, and they're gonna have to pay me out the wazoo. And that's what JC's looking for. That's what JC gonna do this year.
We're gonna see.
That's what JC he gonna ball out, bro. It's gonna ball out. But I listen. I agree. I agree with you. It comes with some risk.
It's a lot of risk. It's some risk, and then that once again it goes back to the fact that this is. I think if Scott Fitterer was the GM, he would already gave him the 5th-year option. I don't know if Dan Morgan is going to do that. That's just how I feel about it. I just don't see it. How's my audio, guys? I'm just asking the question only because I'm curious.
It's better when you get close. When you far back,
it's far away. All right, that's all I wanted to know. If I got to get close to the mic, I'll get close to the mic. That's not a problem.
No Diddy. All right. Derrick Brown's 5th-year. Excuse me, Derrick Brown's extension. My bad. Derrick Brown's extension. So right now, the case in point, Dave, he is on the 5th-year option. Do we think Derrick Brown's going to play on the 5th-year option, or do we think Derrick Brown's going to get extended?
Who's his agent?
My point exactly.
He's been extended.
The same applies to JC. Okay, and I think he's going to have a very impactful season, just like Derrick Brown.
JC ain't got the JC Horn does not have the leverage as Derrick Brown has. Sir.
I do agree with you. I do agree with your point, but it still applies. I mean, he's going to get paid. But all right, here we go. So here's what Dan Morgan said about Derrick Brown and his potential extension. Okay, I'm not going to put a timetable on. This is a quote. I'm not going to put any timetable on it. We've had some good discussions with his agent. Okay, but as of now, we are working through that, and hopefully, it ends up working out at the end, which I think it will. Okay, now that interior defensive market ain't no joke. That market has seen some large contracts come through. Okay, Christian Wilkins, Justin Matabuke, Chris Jones, bruh. Chris Jones had a $158 million contract. Wilkins, $110 million contract. Matabuke, $98 million contract. Derrick Brown, you got to back up the MF and Brinks truck, okay? And you can't have a rehash of the Brian Burns situation. You got to get it locked up. Okay? So I think DB is going to get paid too. I think he is a catalyst, a major pillar on this defense, and I think it's going to get done. I think this is going to get done. Okay. Man, y'all do don't do my man JC like CJ. This is a different conversation. My man said I'm off the JC train, man. Nah, don't do that. I feel you though. I get it. I get that you scared. Scared money don't make no money though. I'm all in. Put the chips in. Put the chips in.
You go.
Bet on
First
black.
You're talking about trains. Now you're doing. Listen, man. I know North Carolina just got legal when it came to the sports betting law, but now you.
Hey Dave, when we go to Vegas in July, put it all on black, Dave. All I got.
You're gonna lose on green. You better be careful, bro.
Betting it all on black, Dave. Put it all on black. Shout out to Roulette. I'm putting it all in on JC.
Nah.
No Diddy on. Hey yo, say no Diddy on him.
No,
but Diddy, yeah, man. Shout out to JC, man. Shout out to JC and Derrick Brown. I do believe will get his money. I don't think they're gonna make the same mistake they made with Brian Burns. I firmly believe that Derrick Brown, if no extension talks are progressed, I believe Derrick Brown will and should hold out. You just saw what they did with Brian Burns. I'm not putting myself out there. I'm holding out until I get a deal done. I'm not going I'm not going to training camp. I'm not going to nothing. Nada, zip, zilch. You got to pay me, bro. And like Dave said, Derrick Brown has a lot of leverage here. A lot of leverage. A lot of leverage. All right. So, Dave, any more thoughts on Derrick Brown and his extension?
Nah, man, I'm not mad at the extension one bit when it comes to Derrick Brown.
How much you trying to pay him? 110? That's
I
Chris
want to
Jones
pay him
money.
with it.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's Wilkins money. That's Wilkins money. That's
yeah,
Christian Wilkins money.
yeah.
Jones 158 million.
That's fine.
You said run
Whatever
it
he
up.
wants,
What?
run it up.
Just run it up.
Give him what he wants.
I get it.
He's a foundational piece to the defense, bro. You got to pay him. You got to pay him.
I don't
Gotta pay him.
disagree.
Yeah,
I
you
do
got to
not.
pay him.
Do not disagree. I'm with you. I listen. I've been a fan of Derrick Brown. Y'all, I got a whole video when y'all called him a bust. I was like, yo, just be patient, and I got a whole video about it. So, yeah, I mean, so I'm a huge Derrick Brown fan. All right, Dave. Next up, we got the Clowny, Jadeveon Clowney update. We talked about Stefan Gilmore. Now we're gonna talk about Jadeveon Clowney. Jadeveon Clowney. They are keeping in touch with Jadeveon Clowney as well as quote unquote other people. So they're not only keeping an eye on Jadeveon Clowney, but they're keeping contact with other people. Now, he's 31 years old. He's coming off the most productive campaign in his tenure. Dave, 9.5 sacks, the most since 2017. Career high pressure, 71. If you're trying to replace a guy like Brian Burns, I think this is a good option. And if you can land Clowney too, I think this is what we need. This is what we need. What you think about it, Dave? Do you think, because I'm hearing that the Jets, they had him visit too. Jets trying to keep an eye on him. What you thinking, Dave?
I don't care about the damn Jets. We need to sign him. Point blank, period. We need to sign him. Like, I don't know why we're not trying to sign this man. I know, but I know why, because he ain't trying to do no training camp. I just hope that isn't a sticker point with our Dan Morgan with regards to signing him. I just hope we're just able to get him and call it a day and be willing to let him not do training camp.
Yeah, Clowny ain't about that training camp life.
He's not, bro. But he doesn't have to be. He's shown that he doesn't have to be. So you can't be mad at him for that. So he's already kind of proven.
And this is true. We have been on the Clowny search for a while. This is not the first time that we have tried to get Clowny. I think we tried before he signed with Baltimore. We tried to get him. Didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so hopefully we finally get him and Gilmore. They went to the same high school, same college. I mean, so hopefully we can grab them both and bring them back to Carolina, bring them back home. But we'll see. We'll see.
Overall, it was a really good interview.
Yep.
Overall, it was a pretty good interview. I will say that it was a pretty good interview. We gave a lot of intrigue about his thought process about a lot of things. So overall, it was a really good interview.
Yeah, I was gonna say, anything else that I missed that we need to talk about regarding the interview?
The tight ends. If you want to talk about the tight ends,
what did he say?
He said something to the effect of he likes the tight ends that he has now. Like he's forced to find. He's impressed with the tight end group that he has. I know a lot of folks want tight ends, but at the same time, he could just be talking just to talk. It could just be GM speak. But he did say he believes in the tight ends that they have. So Ian Thomas, Stephon Sullivan, Tommy Tremble, those guys. So he's a believer.
Yeah, he also talked about building through the draft. Yeah, I mean he wants to. This is something we got to get right. As there is no more at this point in our juncture, where we are as a team. There's no more important thing to knock out the park than the draft. We got to fix our draft issues, and I know we're so used to Hurney knocking the first round pick out. We're so used to that, and we have, Matt Rule coming here, and then Scott Fitter and all them. It's just we have been missing in the draft. We have got to figure out how to knock the draft out the park. I hope Canellis and Dan Morgan and all our scouts, we've got to get this right because our team, we're going to constantly try to figure out how to supplement in free agency. That's where that's why our cap keeps getting destroyed because we always try to supplement in the draft. That's not how you build a team or supplement in free agency. We've got to build our team through the draft. We need some of those third, fourth round picks to be contributors. When those guys are not panning out, it's hurting us because we have to go and get free agents. We have to spend money to get those guys, and we can't get the top guys. We got to go with mid guys. That's how we end up staying mid, is because we cannot draft. We have got to hit the draft out the park, and it starts this year. We've got to figure it out. But that's what he talked about. Dan Morgan talked about building through the draft. And obviously, that's a talking point. We got to actually execute because this is piss poor. This is piss.
I'll trust him better. I'll trust him better than Federer. I'll give him that. So we'll see how it goes, man. I'm gonna give Morgan an opportunity to make this thing work because it's obvious that he's making pretty good moves so far. So I mean, so far it looks like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, we'll see. Only time will tell. We got to get this draft right. We got to knock the draft out the park. But anyway, let's move on to what Canellis talked about because Canellis also spoke today, I believe. He talked about a couple things: smart football, Bryce Young's progress, which speaks to a super chat here by Stevie the Bull. He says, "What do you think about BY9? It's a lot of other Panthers podcasts out here that really dog this man, basically call him trash and basically a bust. Do you all agree? How do y'all feel about those people?"
It's too early. It's too early to call him a bust.
Yeah, well, Stevie.
I mean,
go ahead.
Go ahead. You got it. No, you got it.
No. Okay, so I was gonna say, Stevie. Well, listen, I don't listen to other podcasts. I don't really know how they feel about Bryce, so I can't really say how I feel about them. So I can't address that part of the question. No, I do not agree with what they're saying. If that's what you're saying, they're saying. I don't agree that he's a bust. What I will agree with is that he didn't play well, and some of that is on him. I believe there are aspects to his game that he can improve upon. But at the end of the day, he was brought into a SHITTY situation. Okay, follow me on that. He was brought into a terrible situation. The coach got fired midway through the season, and the coaching around him was terrible. He got brought into a terrible situation, and so I need to see Bryce Young get a fair shot with now a new head coach in Dave Canellis, who has been a guy that has been known to fix quarterbacks. Or see what he did with Baker Mayfield last year. You see what he did with Geno Smith. You see what he's done with some of these guys. And the hope is that he will come in and applies QB whisperer skills to Bryce Young and get Bryce on the right track. You're starting to see nowadays a lot of former players are coming out to say, "Hey, we've got a developmental problem in the NFL." There are teams out here that want guys like Bryce Young to just come into the building and just take over and be great. That's not how it works. You need to develop guys. You can't just plug and play. You got to have a squad around the guy. You got to have talent around the guy. And once that talent is around the guy, you got to develop him. You got to tweak things. You got to coach him up. And I believe that's what Bryce needs, just like every other player in the league. When you got a terrible offensive line, that's going to hinder his performance. So no, I don't believe Bryce Young is trash. I believe Bryce it has the potential to be great. And I think it's going to start this year. But will I say that he's perfect? No, he's not. He's not. But I believe, like I've been saying this whole time, this whole offseason, you got to let it play out. You got to let
3 years.
You got to, again, today's point, you got to give 3 years before you can call anybody a bust. And we've been saying that for years. That applies to anybody. You can't call him a bust after 1 year, especially when he had a crappy offensive line, he had a crappy coaching staff, he had a crappy, wide receiver core wasn't the best. See, I mean, you got to give him a chance. You got to give him a chance, bro.
You can't be out here assuming. You can't be automatically assuming that he's gonna be what Stroud was, because Stroud had way more pieces, man. Like if you would have dropped Stroud where we're at, he would have been struggling with us too. Because you're talking about the offense and the personnel that you have, that matters. And you just got to give Bryce some time. I mean, now Bryce already had his third head coach. You know what I'm saying? If you count the interim, he's at his third head coach.
It's crazy.
Like
It's
the dude only
bananas.
been in the like he's heading into his second season. He's about to be on his third head coach. Like so, when you start thinking about things like that, you gotta give it some time. I mean, I've had conversations with other folks, and I can probably assume who some of the people are that have made the comments because I've been on some of the shows, but I don't. And I told them then I didn't necessarily agree with them. So it is what it is. Like we don't have to disagree. We don't have to agree on everything with the other folks who cover the Panthers because there's some folks who do phenomenal jobs covering the Panthers. So, but that being said, I think it's too soon to say that he's a bust. Way too soon. Way too soon. 3 years, 3 seasons. After year 3, we can have this discussion. Just like I didn't give JC Horn, I didn't start having bust discussions with JC Horn until after this year, till after last season. Because 3 years, bro. So but his is gonna be more of the injury bust variety if we're ready to crown him that. But that's all I got.
Yeah, but again, I think it's listen. I don't. We got to give him time, bro. Like, is he gonna be? Could he be a bust? Maybe. Like, we just gotta pump. We gotta pump the brakes a little bit. We gotta let Bryce be developed. And I know what comes with being the number 1 overall pick. There's expectations that come with that. But bro, you gotta. We've seen Bryce. We've seen what Bryce did in college. You gotta give him some time. You gotta give him some help. And once that help gets put in place, hopefully we'll see the best out of Bryce. So I'm just giving him time, man. I'm holding my judgment until year 3, and especially after this year. The hope is that Bryce Young, maybe he won't have like a 4,000-yard season this year, but hopefully the turnovers will go down, right? And the decision making will improve, and he'll get better. That's what you want to see. We just want to see progress. Like everybody wants. We live in a microwave society, and that's just what it is. Everybody wants a Patrick Mahomes, bro. He's a unicorn. That's not happening, bro. It's just not. Yeah, I mean,
even Patrick Mahomes needed help though.
He is.
He needed help.
But hey,
you
look,
guys hit that like button if y'all haven't already, man.
Look, hey, just my advice to you, Stevie the Bull, for those other podcasts you listen to, and shout out to them, man. I respect everybody's opinion. I don't listen to them. That's just not because I don't like them. It's just I don't have the time to. But if I listen, all I'm saying is this: just keep the receipts, bro. Just keep the receipts. You know what I mean? Keep the receipts. If they wrong, you gotta hold folks accountable. Hey, if I'm wrong, y'all be the first to let me know. The CJ train was trash. Hey, I was wrong. I was wrong. It is what it is. I'm not right all the time, but it is what it is. But I think that with the improvement of the offensive line that we made, Dwayne, what's my man? The Seattle guy we brought in, Damian Lewis. We brought in, Hunt. These guys are gonna help, bro. It's good. They're gonna help. They're gonna help, and then the coordination of a Canales, like putting Bryce in the best position to succeed. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. Let's just let it play out, bro. Let it play out, and we're gonna be fine. All right. Let me see another super chat. My man said, "Big 25 says I'm gambling on JC. He held
gambling on JC. I'm gambling on JC.
I don't know what he's trying to say. He held when we
on
will.
He held when he well. He held when he well. I'll see what he's doing. Okay, I'm gambling on JC. He held when he well. Shout out to you, Big 25.
All right. I see what you did there. My bad. I had to put that together. I was trying to decipher what you were saying while reading it. My bad, bro. You're right. I agree with you.
Everybody's trying to say what the man is. Every quarterback that gets drafted, people think they know what it's going to be. There's a lot of folks on planet Earth that thought that Ryan Leaf was going to be a great quarterback too.
My bad. It's a Shannon Sharp quote. Yeah, that is some daggone country jump. Hey, it did for real. My dyslexia definitely kicked in for sure. Definitely dyslexic, so my bad. This is water. This is water in here, bro. Ain't nothing but good old fashioned water, bro.
High quality H2O.
High quality H2O. But again, going back to Canales and what he spoke about, a couple things that he said, man, you gotta play smart football. Again, I think that you gotta put Bryce Young in the best position to succeed. Okay. This is one of the things he said. He said, give me 1 second. It says, tag on it. This is a quote from Canales. I'm trying to pull it up. It says, we just try to connect on a personal level. This is a quote. And then what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to just build that emotional currency, because I'm going to need to start drawing from that as we start to face challenges to get into the off season. Okay. We start to talk about footwork and then talk about protections and critiquing this and that. I think the more we can create a relationship, it really softens the message versus when it's just like a player coach. It's kind of clunky and it's a little bit abrasive when it's just like you're constantly just correcting these football things. You need to have the basis of a relationship to lean on. So we're trying to develop that relationship with Bryce Young. He says, I think that one of the things that I've learned about him, he's like, I'm glad I went through that last year. I'm glad I had to face the challenges of this, because this is a very difficult than anything I've ever experienced at this point. I feel, and then to feel him and to hear him, his hopefulness and where we're headed, is exactly what you will hope to hear from your quarterback and a guy like that. He sees the best in him and for himself moving forward. So I like what Canales is talking about. I like where he's trying to get with Bryce Young, trying to develop that relationship with him. So I like it, man. I like where it's going. They're focusing on football. They're trying to progress Bryce, and I think this could be the best thing to ever happen to Bryce. I know the worst thing kind of happened last year, but now we're changing the corner, and this could now be the best thing to ever happen to Bryce Young. So we gotta let the process play out. I like where we're going, and we'll see. We'll see. Dave, any more thoughts on what Canales is talking about?
Nah, man, yo, he knows how to say the right things, bro.
He does.
He's ridiculous with it, man. And I'm looking forward to see how this goes after wins versus after losses. So, because he knows how to say the right things, and he knows what a winning team looks like too. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting too, because he sat next to Andy Reid during when they took the picture. Yeah, go ahead.
Look, man, he's intentional about it, and I can't be mad at anybody that's intentional. He's intentional, bro. So he knows what it is.
Yeah, he says, well, he was already sitting down, and everybody there were like 3 chairs on either side of him, and everybody was like kind of standing in the back of with their buddies, and I was like, I'm sitting next to that guy. He said, I'm going right there. So again, he says, he went on to quote, says, he's my favorite. I mean, offensively, it's just the way that he becomes who his quarterback is. You watch over the years, the offenses look different based on who the guy is in a really specific way. And so I admire that, and I try to employ that too, whether I was a receivers coach, quarterbacks coach, offensive coordinator. And certainly now with Bryce, it's like we're going to become who this guy is at the helm, calling plays and becoming that part. So I mean, you can't want it better than that. I mean, that's what it is. You want your coach to be what Bryce is. Do what Bryce does best. I mean, the people they throw that out as a talking point, but they actually do it. And you've seen this happen with Canales. Canales has done it with Baker Mayfield. He's done it with Geno Smith. So again, I like it, bro. I think this could be the best thing that ever happened to Bryce Young, and I hope that we reap the benefits of this. I think again, there's a lot to play. There's a lot of things that play here, but I definitely like the way we're going. All right, Dave, DJ Wanham. Talked about DJ Wanham. So y'all know we signed DJ Wanham. And you know how we made jokes about my bad, not Jadeveon Clowny, but Chase Young and him signing with the New Orleans Saints and how he was injured, had a neck injury. Well, DJ Wanham is likely to miss OTAs due to a quad injury, Dave. You know, last season, he ended the season with a quad injury. Yeah. So how you feel about that, Dave?
Well, it's not a neck injury.
It's not a neck injury, but it's a daggone quad.
Nah, if he misses OTAs, I think we'll be okay. We'll be okay. I'm not panicking. Are you worried, Rashad?
No, it's already thin. I'm just saying the edge is already thin. Yeah, I mean, so.
Well, look, man, whenever I say we need to draft one early, draft one with one of them picks. And this is before we even got the trade. Folks thought I was crazy. So we know one of those picks is going to be an edge rusher, man. That's just the reality of it. You know it. I know it. We all know it.
Yep. But yeah, man. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful we get the edge rusher right. Hopefully bring Clowny in. And I just think if that's the case, there'll be a lot of reps to go around in training camp because them guys they want him now, and you know Clowny he don't really do training camps like that. We'll see.
Camp.
We'll see. We will see.
Maybe somebody will force them to change their mind about trying to sign Clowny. Maybe. Somebody asked if DJ Johnson was a bust, and I'm like, as much as I feel like he's not good, I still can't call him a bust yet.
Yeah, we gotta wait.
Develop.
We gotta wait. We gotta wait, man. Guys get at least 3 years. Guys gotta get 3 years. All right. So anything else that we need to talk about with Canellis when he had his meeting today? With the
man.
Media.
Nah, man. I enjoyed the setup, but they do it that way every year though, where like they're just pretty much sitting at their table and you hear all the background noise and all that. But yeah, nah.
Let me see.
I mean, y'all gotta relax with calling folks bust, man. Y'all gotta relax, man. I'm looking at this chat disgusted right now. Y'all gotta have some patience. Yep. I know it's been a while since we've won, but
yeah, it's all good, man. I think people will come around once they start to see the vision, bro. He also talked about He also talked about Austin Corbett too. He talked about Austin Corbett moving to center. I gotta talk about that. He said that. He talked a lot about the offensive line too. He says, what did he say? He said, inside out, let us get our football right. He said that's what he talked about when he was talking about Robert Hunt. Let's build this thing inside out. He was a priority number 1 in free agency, and that's what they wanted. So they treated him like a high priority guy, and they got him. You know what I mean? So they got the best guard that was available. And yeah, so I think that was dope. And when talking about Austin Corbett, and they're saying moving Austin Corbett is a bit of a projection because he has played some center in the past, but he said Canellis says there's some qualities there that he's already witnessed in Corbett that make him think he's going to be a good center. Okay. And he says, well, it's a specific role for a guy who's a leader. You can get away with it when a guy is vocal. You can get away with it when a guy is a true alpha type person, has a true alpha type personality. You can get away with that, but you really would love your center to be like a middle linebacker and be the quarterback of the offensive line. And Corbs is that. He's a man's man. When he talks, people listens. He's just a natural for this. And for us to have the opportunity to get 2 guards, and then we'll add Austin in that mix as a center to be able to do all that and put it all together to the continuity with the tackles and a couple of new ones. A lot of guys is talking along the same lines. It's really a dream scenario, and I also love the challenge. So that's what Canellis said when he was talking about moving Austin Corbett to center. Dave, what you think about that?
We've been discussing that happening with everything with the signings and all the shuffling of the line. So
confirmed.
I'm not shocked by. Now it's confirmed. So I'm not mad at it, man. I think our offensive line is going to be better this season. It'll be interesting to see how it goes because I know folks have been calling another player that we just drafted a bust too on the offensive line. So I think we all just need to relax and have some patience. Like we haven't had a head coach since oh God, A head coach that was hired. We ain't really had a head coach. We're gonna keep it a buck. Steve Wilkes and Ron Rivera were the last head coaches we've had. Because the ones that got hired by Pepper weren't head coaches. It's clear that they weren't head coaches. But I digress. I gotta quit slandering those guys.
Yeah. But it's going to be interesting. I do think we need a little bit of insurance with Corbett. I like Corbett, but again, those injuries over the last couple of years, we definitely need to get us some insurance there. And the same applies for JC too. That's why I want Stefan Gilmore as an insurance policy. So we definitely need to try and get those guys. And hopefully Austin Corbett remains healthy. Maybe I don't know how moving from guard to center, or if it does help any, with his knees or whatever he messed up. Hopefully that ain't the case. I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna help. But yeah, Van Pran or somebody like that, Powers, Thompson, something like that would be great. It would be great. We definitely need some insurance for sure, though. Definitely need some insurance. And we still got guys like K Mays. K Mays plays center as well. So we have a couple of guys on the roster, but I'm just not sure. Not sure how it's gonna work. All right. Anything else we need to discuss?
I think that's it, right? I mean, Canales did a Canales pressure, bro.
He did. He's so good. Good.
That's what he did. Like I can't argue with it or any of that sort. Canales did a Canales pressure.
Yeah, he's a very good talker. He says all the right things. I'm just trying not to fall in the in the trap of saying all the right things and not executing. I need execution. I need the guy to come to come out there, and I need the team to execute. That just has to happen. It has to happen, bro. We can't. I'm tired of the talking. This all sounds great, but we need execution. We need to get some W's. So we'll see.
I want you there. I'm not.
We'll see.
You ain't gonna get no doubt out of me. I'm with you there.
All right. Anything else we need to discuss? Talk about any topics that I missed in the chat? Y'all good?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we missed. I don't think so. Nah, I ain't, man. Y'all want to do a mock draft? It's your call, shot.
Nah, I'm good. I'll probably do another one. I'll probably do one later this week. We'll see. But all right. With that said, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, get in the comments, all that good stuff. Hey, Bleacher Report, hit us up in regards to doing a draft stream on draft night. Not sure, because we do our own. You know what I mean? Trying to take away from our own streaming, Dave. I don't know how I feel about that one.
I still haven't gotten paid, but that's on me.
Yeah, I haven't either though, and I set it up, but it is what it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but the first one I missed though. The second one I didn't.
I didn't do either one. Maybe we should reach out so you can
we'll
paid.
see. But anyway,
I still don't.
Let's talk about that later. But anyway, no, we did not talk about Higgins going for less than a first, but I knew that was going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't know.
But has Higgins gone? But Higgins ain't got traded yet. Higgins out here just playing future songs.
He got the tag.
He's just playing
the tag.
Yeah, nah, he ain't going, man.
Yeah.
He ain't going nowhere.
But anyway, that being said, man, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, get in the comments, all that good stuff, man. We are out of here. I'm gonna try something different. I'm working on something this week. I'm working on some new pieces of content I'm gonna try out. We'll see how it goes. Well, I'm gonna do a dry run this week. We'll see. But make sure you hit that like button again. We out of here. We'll holler at y'all. I'm out. Peace.